this is a step 2 on cityscape painting. So here's a fun and easy way of painting clouds, just using tissues. Begin by painting the wash, which we already have done in previous video. Now before the paint is dried, take a piece of tissue, crumble it a bit, and begin dabbing different areas of sky where you want the clouds to be. The crumbled tissue will only remove some of the paint, leaving colored patches. And because of the softness of the tissue, the clouds will look much more natural and light. The negative spaces that we created will appear to be sky. Now, you may use a cotton, but it probably won't produce the same effect as it soaks up more paint and the clouds may appear too even. I didn't have a lot of tissue paper, so I actually used paper towel, which is rougher. So the crumbled pieces often has a harsh edges that will show up in the sharp shape of the clouds. So facial tissues, bathroom tissues, even a napkin will work really well. Now I'm using a Q-tips, a cotton swab, to create more negative spaces on the foreground of the clouds. We don't want the clouds to be too flat. We want to give dimensions by adding much controlled light on the foreground. So here I am using clean water, dabbing it on the clean water, and just slowly circulating my movement using cotton swab and creating much more clear depth within the clouds. Let me zoom in a little bit more for you to see the different values of the clouds. By using cotton swab, you're going to be able to create much more depth by lifting up more paint and creating more values and shade within the clouds. Now, if you have 90 pounds or lesser watercolor paint, I wouldn't advise you to do what I'm doing because your paper is not really thick enough and it's going to start lifting and separating the papers, which we don't want to do. I would highly advise, if you're doing this, use 140, 150, or 300 pound pressed watercolor paper, and that paper will definitely be able to hold the amount of damages that we are doing using this cotton swabs and the paper napkins. Next, we are going to learn to paint buildings. In order for you to do that, you need to completely dry your paper.